Namaste, Namaste Aarti, Namaste everyone. Namaste Meenakshi. So let's all be seated. When Aarti comes back, we will start with the prayer. But otherwise, all of you be seated, be comfortable. Allow your back spine to ascend, to be upright. Be seated firm wherever you are seated on the chair or on the floor. Check your spine, check your shoulders. Exhale and release any tension in the shoulder area. And beautiful smile on the face, relaxing your jaw muscles, your forehead smooth, your awareness on the breath. Feel the breath moving in and out, in and out. Observe the flow of the breath moving in and out. And with absolute reverence, join your palms together in Namaskara Mudra. Feel the connection of the palms. Be connected when you chant the Om along with Shanti mantra. Breathe in. Om. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Over to Aarti.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमय यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्, ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Good morning, good evening everyone. Namaste. So shall I share the screen? I think Aarti again will be leaving when I share. 1 second. Okay. Are you all able to see the page? Oh, is it? Okay, good. Where were we? Yeah. Yeah. So we were in the 11th chapter. So Bala would like to start.
Yes.
So we finished this first paragraph actually. So that is, he has gone to the pilgrimage. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll maybe start from the beginning of the chapter only, Papa?
Yes, yes.
Can scroll a little down. Yes, we saw in the last chapter how Vidura, you know, surrendered to the Lord, thinking of the Lord. He gives down he just lays down his bow and he goes away before the war. That is before the war, right? When Bhagavan Krishna had come for the peace talk, when Vidura had advised Dhritarashtra, and Duryodhana had become very angry and he humiliates him. And that was something which made Vidura get out of that, attachment which he had maybe towards his brother. So now it is continuation of that. Yeah. So Vidura left Hastina and went on a pilgrimage to all the holy rivers of Bharatavarsha. He wanted to visit all the tirthas which had been sanctified by the Lord in his three forms, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahadeva. He went to Vrindavan first and spent some time under the shelter of Govardhanagiri. He walked all the way to the river Narmada and bathed in her waters, which were always clear. He visited Pampasaras, where Sri Rama once stayed while he searched for his Sita. Pushkara was one of the many tirthas. He went all over the surface of the country, dressed in tree barks, with his body covered with dust and with his hair all matted because of negligence and the frequent baths in several rivers. He was bent on only one thing, the feet of Narayana. And with this thought ever in his mind, he managed to shed the opposites and attain a semblance of peace. Yeah, this is where we had stopped, right?
So basically, we were talking about the to manage to shed the opposites. We were discussing about the opposites, and I hope some of you have done the assignment. Basically, the introspection, reflection. Basically, if you consider this assignment, I don't know what will be the attitude, but we are checking our more the raga dvesha, the likes and dislikes, and how it is, whether it is causing a disturbance in my peace of mind. So, if anyone wants to share anything in the chat or anything like that, this is the time to put it, so that it will help the discussion to go forward in that interesting manner. Anyone has written anything? Okay. I remember Raghuramji talking about Raga Dvesha. This is very long time ago. There was this topic about Vairagya, and he told us about a circle and a dot. So and what happens is, when most of the time we are in the circumference, because of our sense organs, there are so many attractions to so many different things, so we are pulled towards all these things, and either it could be the likes or the dislikes or the joy or the sorrow or the happiness and the suffering, so many opposites, you could say, the pain and the anger, the resentment, the guilt and the pain, so many things. So he said that is called the raga. That is more, we are projecting more of the outside and getting caught in the circumference itself. And what is Vairagya is Viraga. That is, we are moving inwards to the circle. The circle itself is that is the main purpose. That is the true self. And Viraga is, that is, we are just reverting to the center. That is called, and he named it as the Vairagya. So he said the concept of Vairagya is, you are looking at all the circumferences. It is not that you are not looking, you are looking at it. And he very beautifully told about that we are looking at it, but there is no contempt towards it. So that was very important. He was talking more about it, that how there are people who maybe leave some things. Maybe they would have left all the material possessions, or they would say, I have left brinjal in Kashi, and I have left my most favorite vegetable brinjal in Kashi, or they have left this and that. But or they look upon somebody else who is following all the material assets in a very contempt manner. And but he says Vairagya is not at all looking at contempt towards other things. you're being there and you are still looking at them at equanimity, but not being pulled to the circumference. You are there, you are you are not ensuring that your sense organs are pulled outwards, but you're still there. Being there without contempt is Vairagya. So that you there itself he told a very beautiful example. He talks about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So here again he was telling, it seems when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was in his hut, a group of some group of people came, it seems. They were a very curious people, basically you could say like tourist people who have heard that there is a Paramahamsa in this place. So they wanted to know who are these Paramahamsas. So who is this Paramahamsa basically? So they came and then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa invited them, made them sit, and immediately they all looked shocked. They were looking at the entire hut. They looked at everything and they had a shocked look in their face. They were looking very shocked. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was looking at their facial expressions and he was wondering, what is this? Why are they so shocked? Then he asked, the gentleman, let me know how can I serve you and all that, he said. Then they said, we are looking for one person named, he's called as Paramahamsa. So we were thinking, we wanted to look, who is this Paramahamsa we wanted to see. Then Ramakrishna said, some people call me Paramahamsa. So I am that people all call me Paramahamsa. He told in a very beautiful, humble manner. They were all shocked. You are Paramahamsa. But you are living in this hut. We are seeing clothes, good, nice color dhoti there, and we are seeing some comfort bed. You are lying down in a cot also, and you seem to be wearing also proper clothes. I don't think you are Paramahamsa, sir. I think there is one other Paramahamsa. Then he said, no, I am Paramahamsa. Actually, my wife has just left. She will be coming here and cooking some chai for you and some food for you. So he wanted to add on more. He wanted to have a little bit more fun. So the way Raghuramji speaks is more interesting rather than me. So he said, you just please wait, my wife. What, sir? You are having wife also? We thought you are Paramahamsa. And you're having wife, you're having good clothes. Oh, not even wife. My wife makes excellent, fantastic rasgullas. I love those rasgullas. I love sweets so much. So I love sweets. My wife will be just coming very soon. I like wearing clean clothes. And then sit and pray to my goddess. So, and they were all shocked. They said, no, this guy is like this. And they all went off. They all mumbled and something and all, and then they walked. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa again called them back. No, come back. You know, I have got a mosquito net also, so that mosquitoes also don't come and bite me. So he was all in that mode. So that's why Raghuramji was telling that you are having everything there with around you, but still there is a mode of that you are in the Vairagya state. That is, you are in your own being. That is how you grow, rather than telling people that, you know what, I have left this, you know what, I have left. The moment you are telling people, that means you have not left it. That there is still something you're tagging along, something else. So that was wonderful thing about the concept of Vairagya. Anything anyone wants to share? This is the time.
Well, I've put in the chat box the Dwandvas. Yeah.
Can I add Harita here? Hari Om Jai Shri. Can I talk?
Yes, Harita ji.
Yeah. See, very beautifully explained. See, Prabha, as you said, Vairagya, we think that that we should develop a dispassion, right? But unless we study the scriptures, we do not know. See, for example, this Vairagya, unless you have that, like to that core, even in that Arunachala movie, for Rajinikanth, that father gives that surut. So at the end, only what happens, that child gets a dislike towards it. He has that surut throughout the night. So at the next day morning, he develops, I don't want this, I can't have it more. So like that, you have everything, and at the end, you don't want it. But for us, since we are in this spiritual path, initially we can know that, okay, no, I should not add this ghee to the fire. Okay, I will take it out. So that we can draw that line. So I feel that Vairagya, we can understand whatever is there, let it be there, but it will not attract us. Let it be there as it is. I let a sweet be there, let a beautiful sari be there, whatever it is, I will like it, but I don't want. I am not attached to it. That's my understanding of Vairagya. Hari Om.
Yeah, just to add, yes, that is the ideal way, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. But we all are, like what Harita ji said, we all are in this journey, we are taking the baby steps, right? So, very beautifully in Narada Bhakti Sutra, he says, there is something called Vishaya Tyaga and then Sanga Tyaga, which means it is like that small tree when it grows, right? For that very small sapling, it needs to be protected from the outer environment. Okay, we all are in this. I may say, okay, I have the Vairagya, coffee is there, I don't want. I may control, right? But the thing, it may become like a suppression of my raga towards coffee. And I may, because of that, develop dvesha against someone else who is drinking coffee in front of me. So the thing is, initially, when we are taking that baby steps in this path to reach that state of Vairagya, but first, I think physically also, it is better to have a conducive environment. Okay, initially, yes, I remember, even the coffee smell would, we'll start salivating, right? When we like it so much. So to get that, it is better to shut off certain things, because our sense organs are so used to giving. The indulgence never works. In that Arunachalam movie, yes, Rajnikant tells that, but that may develop into dvesha, right? I just hate it. I can't even tolerate. It could become like that. So for in our path, I think it is about also keeping in mind a conducive environment where, those where I have, if we had listed down our strong likes, okay, slowly, if I want to really, make up my mind to leave certain things, I think, okay, I want to leave these things. So if it is an object, sense objects, with people, we can't do this. But with sense objects, yes, I can try to drop it physically. That's why, he says, Vishaya Tyaga. So we have to drop it physically initially. And then we develop that dispassion. After some time, when we don't feed that, the brain forgets it, mind forgets it. So when anything that we don't feed, anything that we don't give power, it forgets. So after some time, then we will get that strength within us, even when it is around, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, even when it is around, yes, I am not, disturbed by that. I'm not attracted by that. I do it maybe, like what I think Prabha shared once. So Raghuramji was like, there is a tea. If it is there, yes, he will drink. If it is not there also, it is fine. That kind of equanimity comes in through practice. So that is why we have the self-discipline in yama, niyama, all that, right? In our scriptures suggest, I think, to take baby steps, that is also very important. Self-discipline is needed, and slowly we reach that state of Vairagya where we move beyond the raga.
Contempt, what you said, that is so important, because when we want to leave something, we want to put all kinds of bad things, want to put in our head that is bad, this is we want to have a contempt towards it, so that it is easy for me to leave. But that itself is so what happens, we look at it with contempt. So rather than we look at it with that equanimity, that is okay, it is there, but I am leaving, I am choosing to. It's not very easy, but step by step, like you said, the coffee, chai, the clothes, shopping, simple things. When we start off, I think the likes and dislikes we have a contempt towards these dislikes. Somebody does something, and it doesn't agree with me, we have such a huge dislike. And if that person is meeting their own strategies, meeting their own needs or whatever it is, we tend to have the dislike. There itself, can I step back? It's okay, they are there, it's fine, they are doing themselves, they will have their own journey, let me have my own journey. We don't keep tagging along. I think that becomes very interesting. Aarti wants to share anything here?
So the same thing we can extend it to our own beliefs also, right? When I have a certain belief, or I am following a few certain things, again it comes back to saying, okay, I think it is good, this I have to, this is my belief. Maybe I am doing a certain sadhana for my own sake, whatever, or I am following a certain faith or whatever in that case. But in that whole process, if I develop a distaste or anything for somebody who does not follow these things, or who has a different opinion from mine, or has a different belief from mine, at that time, how much of a inner turmoil do I really face? Or am I able to accept that this person's opinion or this person's belief is theirs? I accept it as theirs. And this is what I mean, and even this, so then what it is it is not, I have not been attached to my belief. Only if I'm attached very strongly to my belief will the other person's opposing belief even rattle me. But if I am also flexible and I'm saying, okay, right now I'm following this belief, in a few days maybe it will change, the change is the only permanent thing, whatever. So, and if I keep it that way, then there is no rigidity inside me and there is more flexibility, and in that way there is more respect around also. I am not being very strongly it is all about that attachment, keeping it flexible, as Raghuramji also says. I was just thinking, I don't drink coffee at all. I should probably try it. I have a strong dislike. I've never taken it. So I was just thinking, to come out of that dislike, I should probably now try it at least, and be, there. I would refuse it. I've never had it. So.
Wow.
More than trying, I think it is maybe that attachment you're like,
Yeah, that
your belief, what you told.
Yeah, so that is, it is more that for that I should break out of that strong thing that I will not have.
Share one simple personal thing. I am very fond of chai. Very, very fond of chai. Chai is something which rejuvenates me. But what I found is, for some years, the chai will be the mood factor for me. So at 3:30, if the chai is not there, then it determines the mood of the rest of the evening. So it came to a point that everyone in the house started pointing out that, oh, 3:30, Prabha, without chai, you will not see a happy face. And we had this Vairagya discussion once, and it just suddenly just struck my head. Oh my God, look at the way the chai is determining my mood. My peace of mind is determining by the chai. So can I withdraw? And also, maybe because I love chai, I didn't want to stop, because when I stop, I will be constantly thinking, somebody has a cup of tea, I go in the road, they make hot, nice cup of tea, it becomes very tempting. So I decided, like Raghuramji, maybe I will also try that. If the chai is there, I enjoy. If the chai is not there, so it took some time. It took really some time, lot of work on that, so that the chai is not determining my peace of mind. I think recently also Raghuramji was saying that if somebody does not have a cup of coffee, you know that their mood is gone in the morning. They are going to have a headache. So that means the coffee is determining you. So that is that is a master. You are the slave, looks like. So this is where we need to kind of look about some things there. We might be a slave to that. It could be someone's nature might be triggering me. So that also that becomes, that nature is actually becoming a master to me actually. So again and again, it's important. Nowadays it's like, I have my chai. One day I'm traveling, 3:30, I don't get my chai. I'm not desperately looking around, and it is not determining my peace of mind. I tell proudly to my family that, look, 3:30 chai is that. But I am boasting also. So I am also, because there is a boasting factor there, that yes, I have left chai there. So I am telling you all also, right? So, but here what I wanted to say is, very beautifully Raghuramji used to say that when you have left something, it's not necessary that you have to boast. There is a ego factor when we leave. That also has to dissolve. That factor also dissolve. It's not very easy, but we can all be observant of what my thoughts are, observe how my, and that's what Vidura is also doing, right? See, he has shed the opposites. He knew that there is attachment in his mind towards his elder brother. There, so his Pandavas is so close to his heart, but he leaves and he goes. See, otherwise he could stay there and understand what is the outcome of the war. He knows very well that Pandavas will win and all the Kauravas are going to die in front of his eyes. His brother would be in utter turmoil and despair. And looking at that, he might be absolutely go into a kind of a bad the turmoil there. But he chose to step out of that place. So we are back to this chapter now. So let's continue. Yes, Aarti, please continue. I'll put this Vidura reached Prabhasa.
Vidura reached Prabhasa, the favorite spot of Krishna. One second. There he heard about the annihilation of the family of Dhritarashtra, like the destruction of a bamboo forest by the fire which is born of the bamboo itself. This is such a good example, like the destruction of a bamboo forest by the fire which is born of the bamboo itself. The Kuru family was destroyed because of the Kuru family only. So he heard that Yudhishthira was now the sole monarch of the entire Bharatvarsha. He tried to grasp the facts. Protected as he was by the armor of detachment, still his heart was touched with great sorrow, and quietly he walked towards the banks of Saraswati. From there, he pursued his journey towards the Yamuna. On the banks of the river Yamuna, he met Uddhava. Uddhava sent him to sage Maitreya to learn Brahma Vidya. Vidura spent some time in the ashrama of Maitreya. From there, he traveled towards Hastina. He wanted to meet Yudhishthira and his brothers. He wanted to fall at the feet of his brother Dhritarashtra and console him and Gandhari in their sorrow. This was a mission he had to perform. After that, he was free to go to Badrikashrama and shed his frame. That was his intention. Please note the word shed his frame. Okay, that was his intention, to perform tapas and attain freedom from the bondage called life. He had no desire. 35 years had passed since Yudhishthira began to rule the kingdom. He had now learnt the art of detachment. The lesson he had learnt was the lesson of dedication. His grandfather had taught him again and again that a king belonged to the people and not to himself. He could not afford to have feelings and emotions of his own. His sole concern should be the welfare of his subjects. Yudhishthira had no time to look back on the events of the long ago, which precipitated the terrible war. He realized that blaming himself for the events of the past was wrong and fruitless. Yudhishthira had performed the Ashwamedha and he had earned peace of mind. He was ruling the earth, which was bounded only by the sea on all sides. He was like Indra, ruling the celestial kingdom. The earth was happy under his rule. The land was fruitful. The people were contented. There was rain in plenty, and the cows yielded milk, which was like Amrita. There was no theft, and goodness reigned in the hearts of all.
It meant more like a story actually right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the armor of detachment. Like to say anything there?
Protected as he was by the armor of detachment. So now when you have this armor, he has come out of his house. Now he has got this Vairagya. Even though he was protected, see the contradiction here. What it is saying is, and our true understanding of detachment is also going to come out here. Protected as he was by the armor of detachment, still his heart was touched with great sorrow, and quietly he walked towards the banks of Saraswati. So he was detached. Detachment does not mean I do not feel the pain, I do not have the sorrow, that I have no feeling. It is not me being emotionless. See, that contrast, that clarity has been brought out so beautifully here. He was a person who was full of Vairagya, but yet he felt the sorrow. The only difference between, so sorrow is not a problem. To bring out this example, to talk about this armor of detachment, yet you have that feeling. There is a nice example. to bring this out, which I had heard when I had gone for Vipassana by Goenkaji, is the guru for that. He gave this example. Say there is you have been wanting something, craving for something very badly. You wanted a watch, one Rolex watch. Okay. Now you wore this Rolex watch, and you don't have enough money to buy this Rolex watch. It's very expensive. So you have been dreaming about this Rolex watch, and you have been saving up money regularly. And then after 2 years or 3 years of saving, finally you go to the shop, you pay the money, you buy the Rolex watch. And that the moment you buy it, it falls down and it breaks. That Rolex watch. How will you feel? Okay. I mean, a Rolex watch, maybe we all don't connect with, but just imagine this whole scenario of something that you really, really want, and you have gone and you have bought that, and that has fallen and it has broken. You have saved up so much, little by little, you have saved up and you have got it. So now this is full of passion you have in. It's not dispassion, passion. You have, with passion, you have got it, you have done it, and it is not doing, then you feel so sad. Right? Extremely distraught. You may say, I am never going to ever desire anything. I am not, it goes to the other end, right? Something, I will never do all these things, work hard, or, all that contempt comes into the mind. Whereas if, say, your friend has come along with you, okay, and that friend knows that you have wanted to buy this Rolex and comes with you, comes to that place along with you. And then when that friend comes and the Rolex watch is bought and that Rolex drops, how will the friend feel when that Rolex watch falls? Will that friend's sorrow be as much as that the person who bought it, that person, the one whose passion it was? Will it be as much as that person's?
No.
It will not be.
No.
It will not be. They hear, but that friend will also feel sad. Ayo, this guy, did so much, and and I know how much he wanted it. I wish he would have got it. But it will not be the same level. So this, because it was not that person's attachment. It was a friend's attachment. So there is a kind of separation there. Right? That it is my friend's passion. It was different. It is separate from me. Like that, if I can separate from my feelings, and that sorrow he is feeling is that sorrow of that friend. He is detached from his sorrow because of his Vairagya. He is having the sorrow, but it does not leave any deep vasanas or impressions inside him. That is how it is when we are detached. We are not emotionless. Being detached is not sometimes mistaken as being, oh, why is he is detached, but still he is crying. He is detached, but it was told even for Shankaracharya. When he went to his mother, he had promised his mother, according to this thing, sannyasa, they are not supposed to, Adi Shankaracharya, go back for the final rites of the mother. But Adi Shankaracharya went just to fulfill his promise. It did not mean that he was not detached, but he went back to fulfill his promise given to the mother and so.
Beautiful. This armor of detachment, who else you can remember? I remember Sri Rama.
Yeah.
See, very beautiful shlokas there that really touched me. After, he gets to know from Dasharatha that he has to leave to the forest. We all have heard his face was the same and all that. But one very beautiful shloka, which, tells the same thing, that, that armor of detachment, yet so much of emotions. So he is saying, it says, Dharayan manasa dukkham, which means in his mind there is dukkham. Yes, and it is covered, Dharayan, it is there. In his mind, dukkha is there. Indriyani nigrihyacha, which means all his senses are in his control. Yes, that is the kind of detachment. He knows what is happening and he is away from that. Like that friend who is, just watching, right? So he is away from that. But the emotions are flowing. Okay, we all are in our body, and the mind works according to the law of nature, according to Prakriti. Nothing can be done, Rama himself had taken the avatara in this, right? But he was a master of that, unlike all of us. So in spite of that dukkham and his indriyani, which means it says indriyani, why it is stressed there beautifully, Valmiki is like, with so much dukkham is there in his mind, but the moment he is out of Kaikeyi, that the palace where he got the news, he sees so many people, he doesn't want to show anything in his face. That is dukkham. Face is the index of the mind. If you really think it is so, I was wondering, how is it even possible? The moment there is some disturbance in my mind, right, the face shows it. There is no doubt. There is anything, any emotion, immediately the face shows it. But there, that detachment was so strong in Rama that the dukkham was there. And from there, now he's going to Kaushalya's palace. So on the way, there are so many people who are jubilant, and he doesn't want anyone to know what is happening, because without all those things, if people know, people may start completely revolting, right? So he doesn't want anybody. No, nothing was disturbed. And from there, he goes to Kaushalya Mata, and even in Kaushalya Mata's palace, to Kaushalya also, he doesn't show his sorrow. Yes, he talks to his mother. He empathizes with his mother's sorrow and somehow convinces her, gets her blessing. Then it is said, when finally he goes to Sita's palace, that is when slowly, tears starts. Sita Mata is able to see tears in Rama's eyes. That also they say it could be because, Sita has to, go through life without me. But anyway, that kind of detachment, that where the body, the mind is completely detached from who we are, and it is not shown at all. That is amazing. So Sri Rama's
very beautiful, Bala. When you talk about the armor of detachment, first suddenly it just struck me was Karna's armor. So how he was a Dani, right? So absolutely, when Indra Devata comes, right, to tell him that give me this armor, because without that armor, with the armor, Karna is invincible. Nobody, no one can even defeat him. And Krishna knows, Indra knows, everyone knows, even Karna knows. And when Indra himself comes, you are able to give away with a sense of, not feeling, disappointed or, oh, what will I do? But he just gave it away. That's it. That sense of just giving away, because that itself tells us how we can even detach from our material assets. Because how we might be having 10 saris, and we see suddenly that one sari is getting torn, okay, and suddenly we remember that I have to start donating, okay, and then they donate. So we donate the one which is torn to the other person, and then we say that I have done dana. So the detachment itself, that I have detached from collecting saris, I have detached from collecting material assets. But how are we detached? How are we giving dana? How is my charity? What is my attitude? There itself is so, each time when we remember such Purusha, that's the Divya Purushas, like even Karna, Bharata itself, each time we remember about Bharata. Rama was there in the forest for so many years, but how was Bharata living? Right? And here there is one story again, when they say, when Rama, after the entire war and everything done, he was in Bharadwaja ashram, he had a feeling that maybe Bharata is nicely, happily living there, sitting in the throne of Ayodhya, he is ruling it. Why should I simply go there and disturb the entire piece of this thing? So, the Rama's prema, that is the prema bhava towards his brother, was so wonderful, that he calls Hanuman and says that, hey, Hanuman, why don't you do one thing? You first fly there, go and see, and check out how Bharata is doing, and subtly maybe you could see his expressions and see that if you think he's very, very happily there, don't even mention that I am coming or anything. Just come and tell me. So, but we know what Hanuman, how he did. He was already in a jubilant mood. He goes there, and where is Bharata? Sitting there in a ashram, just absolutely like a tapasvi. that just living among the throne, he's like it was written very, I think, by Kamala Subramaniam. He was there like a trustee of the entire kingdom. That is, we are trustees, like he was like a trustee. So that when you are like a trustee, the art of detachment becomes very beautifully, very easily it comes. Because each is like detachment from the children, because we keep saying that they are all Bhagwan's kids and I am a caretaker of my children. They are, this organization is, I am a caretaker of this organization. I am this house, I have been blessed with it. I am a caretaker. If one day I have to leave this house and go, I am okay with that leaving. So each time I remember that trustee or a caretaker, it's so important sentence for us. Yeah. So my dog is trying to bark. Yeah. So that becomes so very, very important for my. I lost my thought. So please continue.
To continue with what Prabha was just telling, if I need, I can leave the house and go anytime. That is exactly how Vidura seems to have told. He was ready to relieve his frame. So this body, our highest attachment is to this body. And that is why at the time of death, when we think of death only, we are afraid, or we do not want to think about it. We do not, it is not something nice to talk about. Why should we talk about death? All that is because of our very strong attachment to this body. So, but as we near that point in time, at any point in time, we have seen in COVID, any point in time, the uncertainty is the only reality, right? And so this body is a vehicle for this life. That's all it is in reality. To drop this frame, that's it. And be ready to go is the highest level of detachment. When they are talking about it in this whole sequence, right? That highest level of detachment from my body. It is just a frame. It is holding me. It is just a structure. I am only leaving this frame and going out. So that clarity and detachment from the body is what came out very beautifully for me when that word frame was put there. It's just a vehicle. The car is not me. I am, say, the driver of the car. If I have to leave the car and go at some point in time, if it is needed, I should go when the car is not ready. If I am attached to that car and I am holding on to that car will keep me stagnant, and I know that the struggle is higher or whatever with the whole thing. So,
yeah, we have a beautiful example of Amba, no, and Shikandi, who was carrying it so much that, and when we are talking about these levels of Vairagya, I just remembered a beautiful comparison. It struck me very well. See, the moment we hear about Vairagya, what we think is, like death, that is the highest level, right? Detachment from my body. But starting from where I am, yes, no, maybe if I know the list of strong likes, Vairagya is be Radha, that's all, where we go beyond our likes. Starting from where I am, where my likes are not too strong, we can start from there and slowly move to the stronger ones. So for that, a beautiful example was given, I think in Kaveri Gurukulam. So beautiful example where he was saying, see, if there are, generally when Vairagya says, people ask, I cannot leave my family, I cannot leave my job, I cannot leave my, all that. Then what Vairagya you're saying? So Vairagya, it is something like you have 4 cups of water. Okay, in one, there is room temperature water. In another one, there is lukewarm. In another one, it is a little hotter than the lukewarm water. And in the last cup, there is boiling water. If you are asked to put your finger, in which will you put your finger first?
lukewarm.
Yeah, lukewarm or even room temperature.
Room temperature.
Right? Yes. So something which is very easy for me. So like that, to be just aware, oh, I'm collecting so many sarees. It is easy for me to give it away. Yes, I don't have to collect. These material things are, I'm just saying personally, each of us will have our own room temperature likes. Be aware of that. Leave that. It drops. Yeah. Then beautifully, then lukewarm you can come to. Yeah. And then drop. But then the question came, so if I have to touch the boiling water, it is going to hurt me, it's going to burn me, right? So they said, no. By the time we finish this, room temperature water, lukewarm water, the boiling water would have come to room temperature. Okay, so by the time we leave these things in that process, our strong likes would have weakened. That is how it works. So our strong likes also slowly, that is the state where he has come. It is not that he had to, go through a lot of things that he leaves that frame, right? Just drop is the word used. So that is the stages of Vairagya. So we start from where I think practice is more important than what we study. As we study, let us try and apply it in our.
Yeah. Viduraji also did it in 35 years.
Yeah.
After he left the palace.
Yes.
On a lighter note, I think once we discussed in some group, I forgot, is a story of the milkmaid and the pujari. Remember that story, but that can be interpreted in so many different ways. Again, this story is told by Ramakrishna ji only to all his disciples, because it is there in his book. The story is narrated by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So this is again, it's a very young, those who are unaware of the story, I'm just giving a gist of the story is, this is a very young girl, maybe 12, 13 years, who's a milkmaid, and she delivers milk to everyone's house. And then she's a very hard working girl, gets up early in the morning. There is a river, there is a ferryman, and who carries people, who takes along people on the boat from one end to the other. One day the ferryman is very fond of this girl. He says that, you know what, there is a pujari there is a person there on the other side, very learned person. He is wanting milk at 6:30 in the morning and very, very much willing to give you 50 paisa. That time is long time. 50 paisa is very much, see that much amount you are getting. But she says, no, how can I cross this river? Hey, you don't worry, I am there for you. No, I will come here 6:15, I will come, then I will take you there, and then you can give, it will be good for you, you will get more money also. She was very, very happy and all that. But what happened is, every day when she used to come, this ferryman was not able to get up so early in the morning. It was very challenging for him. So instead of 6:15, he used to come only by 6:25. So this girl, every day somehow it went off that she was ending up late giving the milk, delivering milk to this pujari. And this pujari every day used to scold her. If you don't do next time onwards, I'm going to cut. If you're delivering late, I'm going to cut your salary, like that and all. And this girl used to just smile, okay sir. She never used to tell that the ferryman is making me late. No blaming there. Okay sir, and she will go. And one day, as usual, she comes late. And this pujari is sitting and giving a bhashan or giving a lecture or a satsang or whatever to a group of people. And he's talking about the greatness of Hari. He said, by chanting only the name of Hari, we can even cross the entire ocean of Maya. Like that he's telling. Okay. This girl correctly comes and hears that. And she was immediately thrilled to hear that. And you might be wondering, why is she thrilled? She thought, Arey, this sir already knew the strategy for me to cross this river, and he didn't tell me all this while. I just have to chant the name of Hari. That's it. So she goes to the bank of the river. Such was her innocence and such was her dedication and this idea. She just closed her eyes and absolutely started chanting Hari, 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 and then started stepping onto the water. And after some time, she could feel the hardness of the bank of the river, and she opened her eyes. She had already crossed the river. She was all very happy. Now I don't have to depend on ferry uncle at all. I can cross on my own and come. I can give the milk on time. That's it. That was all her thing. That is, her work was in her mode thing, and she knew that that's such a fantastic strategy of Hari chanting. So every day now onwards, she was going right on time. Now this pujari said, looks like I told I'll cut your salary, so now things have gone into your head and you are coming. Then she said, no sir, I started doing thanks to you. He said, why thanks to me? No, thanks to you sir, you gave a wonderful strategy. I started using that. He started wondering, what is the strategy which which I have given? He said, sir, that day you told, no, chant the name of Hari. We can cross the ocean of Maya itself. Sir, this is not even ocean. This is only a river. I chanted Hari and that's it. This person did not understand what is happening. So he said, my dear girl, something I don't know what's happening to you. Maybe why don't you just show me what you are doing? So he said, okay, she's all excited, absolute innocent, just exuding out. She comes there and, sir, so that's it, chant the name of Hari and I'm crossing, sir. And she again, Hari, 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 and then absolutely freely she's walking there. So, and then she's almost in the middle of the river and she's looking back and said, sir, please, why don't you come? You are my guru, you are my teacher, come. And then he started looking at her, absolutely stunned. He said, oh, okay, how is this girl doing? Okay, because she's calling me guru also, I have to go also. My prestige issue is like too much here. So under stake here. So he said, okay, I'm coming. And so then he closes his eyes. What should I chant? Sir, you only told us, sir, chant the name of Hari and you can cross. That's it, sir. Chant the name of Hari, sir. That's all, sir. You are my guru, sir. See, and she's all in absolute, they're standing in the middle of the river and she's calling out to him. And he said, okay. Wait, I'm coming. So he closes his eyes, Hari. Oh, what about my dhoti? Wait. Let me lift my dhoti. I just bought my dhoti yesterday only, so expensive it is. So he puts the dhoti and then again Hari. Oh, what if I slip my toes? Then I can't give my satsang also. Okay. Much more careful. What I'll do is I'll concentrate on my steps and then I go. Then Hari. Ayo, what will she think of me? She's thinking that I'll chant Hari and go. What if I fall in the river? I don't even know how to swim in the river. What if I die? Oh God. Oh Hari, what I do? Hari. So, and then he walks and in the first step itself, he falls. He falls and completely his dhoti gets wet and everything. And that time the girl runs back to him. Sir, you are more worried about your body as well as the fear of falling. You never chanted Hari with wholeheartedly, sir. That is the thing. So immediately he realized the beauty about how the chanting of Hari with completely detached with everything else. And that was how Ramakrishna ji talks in the end. So beautiful. It is not that 1 hour of chanting we do. Somebody is unmuting. Okay. It's not about that 1 hour of chanting we do. It's about in everything we do. What is my level of detachment? What is my level of involvement? And also like that prasada buddhi, they say, right? Everything as an offering of Bhagavan. And this story can be interpreted in so many different ways, but this is one of the ways Ramakrishna ji interprets, which gives us a pure example of detachment. So we'd like to move on, maybe paragraph.
The last one, where she's beautifully described how the Bharata Varsha was under the rule of Yudhishthira. Right? It says he was like Indra ruling the celestial kingdom. The earth was happy under the rule. Look at the wisdom of our scriptures, our ancient people. The land was fruitful. People were contented. Rain in plenty. And cows yielded milk, which was like amrita. No theft. And what rained? Gods reigned in the hearts of all. Today, what are we doing? For a nation, developed nation, GDP, right, I'm not very good with economics and all, whatever. If there are experts in economics, forgive. Whatever, that financial measure, right, is what determines what is a developed nation. Look at the way, and we call ourselves developed, but look at this ancient wisdom. And somewhere I heard, in Tamil they say, Mari Mumma, Mada Mummari, which means in a month, is there enough rain? The rain should not be too less also. We are seeing how extremities are now, either drought or flood. In that also this Ragadvesha, extremities is happening. There, when people live in harmony with nature, within and without, there is contentment. And when they are able to lead the contented life, then the entire environment is in a rhythm, right? That cosmic rhythm, that dharmi, that's what we call it as dharma, isn't it? The entire creation, they all are living in as per the cosmic order, right? So that is the beauty, given here. The rain in plenty and cows. That is very nice. This is at the intellectual level, yes, everything in cosmic order. And cows yielded milk, which was like amrita. Here it touches the heart. If you see, there is so much love that is there. I've heard, we also hear, right, in Tirupavai, Andal says, cows, they just, the moment, because Krishna is there, the cows, just looking at Krishna, the cows would give the milk. If you see, many of our, I'm sure, our mothers, maybe, even before the child cries, we might have experienced that love, automatically sometimes we feel the milk leaking, isn't it? Sometimes we do feel that. So that is expression of that unconditional love. So that is also given here so beautifully. It really touched me both ways, everyone living in contentment and living in according to the cosmic order, in harmony within and without. And there is love, that unconditional love everywhere. That is so beautiful. Yudhishthira. So, yes.
When we are contented, we move away from that ego. Then there is that unconditional love can surface.
So we'll move to the next paragraph. Suddenly Yudhishthira saw evil omens in the sky. He had seen them once before, and that was before the Kurukshetra war. The same planets assumed the same positions relatively, and this spelled calamity, a great calamity to the world. When he was worried as to what the skies prophesied, Vidura arrived in Hastinapur. Yudhishthira was speechless with amazement and happiness. Tears flowed from his eyes at the sight of his beloved uncle. All the members of the royal family welcomed him. Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Sanjaya, Kripa, Kunti, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, Uttara, Kripa, the wife of Drona, and the brothers of Yudhishthira. The meeting between Vidura and Dhritarashtra was very tender. The old king had been missing Vidura, and like the body welcoming the life breath which had left it for a while, he embraced his brother. After they had got over the first thrill, they all went into the inner chambers. The guest was made to take food and rest himself. Yudhishthira then asked him how he was and what he had been doing all these years. He said, "Did you think of us all, uncle, during these years? We have not forgotten you and your affection for us. During the days when we were young, you protected us under your wings, like the mother bird her fledglings. We would have been burnt to the house of lac with our mother long ago if it had not been for you. How have you been all these years? Tell us about the many tirthas you have visited. My Lord, men like you who have the form of the Lord ever present in your minds are considered to be tirthas. When you visit the rivers polluted by ordinary men, you purify the tirthas. I have been told that Ganga, when she was beseeched by Bhagirath to come down to the earth, said, I am heavenly. If I come to the earth, the sins of those who bathe in me will contaminate me and rob me of my purity. I do not want that to happen. Bhagirath said, pure and holy men will bathe in you. They will be the ones to purify you. They are called Tirtha-rupas. Tell us about all that has been happening to you all these years, uncle. We are eager to hear your words. Anything here? Both of you would like to share anything about tirthas? I think you wanted to. The ashramas is next class. Sorry.
Tirtha is very beautiful. It is like the place is purified. It's not that the place itself is so pure. It is purified because of the presence of such Tirtha Rupas. said, right? In fact, I was reading Guruji's Bhagavatam. There, when Vidura talks to Maitreya Rishi, that Maitreya also says very beautifully, I'm not remembering the context, it is like the Bhagavan is like the sandalwood tree, and Bhagavatas, all the Bhaktas are like the wind. Bhagavan is there, but only the wind takes the scent of these Bhaktas to be available for everybody. So like that, when Bhaktas go and purify the Tirthas, that purity or whatever cleanses the rest of us also. So that is how I connected when this was given very beautifully.
Shall we continue then? Vidura related to them what he had been doing. He described the many holy spots he had visited. Time passed very quickly and very pleasantly for all of them. Vidura spent some time with him in the palace. Most of it he spent in the company of his unfortunate brother Dhritarashtra. Oh, okay.
Again, here, the way he connects with Dhritarashtra is so beautiful, because when he walked out of the palace, Duryodhana had insulted him. I mean, he didn't take the insult, but Duryodhana had insulted him. Why are you listening to this Sutaputra? The Shudras, not Sutaputra. He's not even a king. Don't even listen to this guy. Kind of. And Vidura looks at, if you look at that beginning, Vidura looks at Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra doesn't say anything to condemn his son also. Right? He doesn't even say anything. It is at that point in time, instead of developing contempt inside, or that they have abused me, he didn't leave. So this shows that clarity here, that he didn't leave because he was humiliated. At that moment, he realized that this is over. Now, all that I was having with these people was an attachment. Brother is an attachment. All these things is an attachment only, and it is not a reality. He realizes at that point in time, and he comes. So he has not developed any contempt, and that is why he's still able, his whatever that love he is very unconditional then, right? It is completely unconditional love with which he has gone back to Dhritarashtra. He's spending more time with Dhritarashtra. He is not holding any of that contempt from that time. So that way we can make out that there is absolute detachment of his this thing, and it is unconditional love, not because of, but in spite of.
Yeah. One more thing that is coming to my mind is Vidura, after looking at Dhritarashtra, when he was upset, and then we also read, right, he sees Bhagavan, or he thinks of Bhagavan, something like that was there. So remembering Kunti's Stuti, where she says, see the hand of God in everywhere, right? So that grace, so Vidura was available for that grace.
Yeah.
So that grace was there. He just opened up at that moment. So even Duryodhana's insult is Bhagavan's grace, right? So Duryodhana's insult became Bhagavan's grace for Vidura to give up all those shackles, to remember, yes, it is because of my attachment. And that, so for us also to reflect and think, many times we say by God's grace, everything was fine. By God's grace, nothing happened. By God's grace. So it's not only, yes, that is also God's grace only. But am I able to see in every situation, God's, only then I am available. God's grace is there. Only then I am available for, he is giving me this, his grace, so that something is going to, get detached or whatever for me, some learning, as a learning. So seeing that everything has God's grace, from learning from Kunti, just remember that. So Vidura, great Bhagavatam.
That's it, Bala. One law, the continuation of that is samam charatra sarvatra, right? So, oh Lord, you've always been merciful and impartial to everyone. And just, I think, Srila Prabhupada ji's book, I read that how how it is like the sun's rays, can it be impartial to anyone, saying that, oh, it has not fallen to this person, it has not fallen, it has fallen fully on this person, but it has not fallen to that person. That person maybe is in the darkness, this person is, but how the receptivity of that person is so important. That how are we receptivity, that because that itself we could end the session today is thinking back and looking at all the things which is happened in my life, or happening in my life right now, and what has those important situations have given me an understanding, and how I can be more and more receptive for the grace of Bhagavan. And saying that, like Kunti, who beautifully talks about, oh Bhagavan, you have been always impartial. So that is, there is always that you are summum to everyone. Only thing is, some are able to receive the grace and some are not. It is because of their own ignorance. Nothing. You are not saying that I will give only to this, who will give only to my bhaktas I will shower. Nothing like that. So, oh Bhagwan, give me more and more calamities, so that I keep remembering you. This is always struck me so much, that how, what is the strength of this Kunti Mata, who's saying that oh Bhagwan, give me more and more sufferings in my life. Why? Because that's what again Prabhupada ji writes very well, that the moment we pray, we pray, when everything is happy, we pray this and this, some material way we pray. If we are suffering, we say, oh Bhagwan, just take me out of this suffering. I'm having this problem, I'm having headache, I'm having back pain, please take me out, I will make 108 kolkatas. So like that. Or or oh Bhagwan, let my daughter get into medical college, and then I will come and do namaskaram here. But there is always a kind of a motive to pray. But Kunti says that, oh Bhagwan, you give me suffering, because in that suffering I will always be seeing you, I will always be remembering you. So that remembrance of him in every factor itself, it helps us to, again, somebody, again, I think Prabhupada ji only writes that we are not, don't think that we are renouncing everything. That is, we are leaving all these things and then we are attaching to Bhagavan. So you're just leaving the other things, that's it. But there is some attachment. But where are your attachment? My object of desire is towards Bhagavan. So other things will look very kind of, it might not be feeling very important, like you said about the water. The strong likes will become lukewarm water, becomes lukewarm likes. So this is where again it's like droppings of a cow. Keeps dropping it and you're proceeding further. So Aarti would like to close the session, if anything. Yeah?
Stay with the sense of equanimity to our raga, dvesha, which will lead to dispassion within me. Oh. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bad bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.